Yes.
Okay, hi, and welcome to our second quarterly wellness session by Sigrun and Peter. And today we would like to offer you some thoughts and helpful tips for preparing the winter solstice, which takes place on the 21st of December and represents an important shift in the energy.
Yes. Hallo und herzlich willkommen zu unserem zweiten Quarterly Wellness Session von Peter und Sigrun, oder Peter und Sigrun. Sorry, I pronounced your name in German now.
No, that's good.
Damit möchten wir euch ein paar Gedanken und hilfreiche Tipps an die Hand geben, um euch auf die Wintersonnenwende, also die Solistik am 21. Dezember, die auch eine wichtige energetische Veränderung darstellt, vorbereiten.
Et puis, enfin, un grand bienvenue à tous nos amis francophones. Notre deuxième quarterly wellness session de Sigrun et Peter. On vous offre aujourd'hui quelques réflexions pour bien préparer le solstice d'hiver qui arrive bientôt le mercredi 21 décembre.
Beautiful. Yes. And my name is Sigrun. Friends call me Ziggy. And I live in Berlin. And through my own healing path over many years, I am on a soulful mission to help people to shift their life to a more holistic, healthy way of living. I do this with coaching and yoga, and introduce people to live healthier by supporting products such as supplements and healthy habits, which also had a major impact on my well-being. I'm also a yoga teacher, as I said. Now I teach yoga in German and in English, and have a major focus to offer my service online, but offline as well. And also I have a new focus set out. I'm having started to support women to work on stress levels and reduce stress in their life, and do that holistically with coaching and certain types of different yoga.
And hi, my name is Peter. I live in Wiltshire in the United Kingdom. And I run a holistic practice specializing in holistic work for horses. In 2020, I held the first healing horse Karuna Reiki circles, and these are circles that meet 4 times each year. Each time we have a series of 7 weeks of Reiki, and the Reiki is to prepare either the equinoxes or the solstices. So at the moment we're in our 7th cycle, and we are preparing indeed the winter solstice coming up on the 21st. I also use astrology in my holistic practice, and I offer astrological natal chart readings. So the aim of our 30-minute quarterly wellness session is to share some ideas and to help each of us prepare the next 3 months as we approach the winter solstice. So today I'll be saying a little bit about the winter solstice and its origins as an ancient festival.
Yes, and I'm going to talk about vitamin D3 as a supplement support, helping you through the winter.
And then I will be sharing some thoughts on the astrology of the solstice.
And then I will guide us through a meditation, which is suitable for the upcoming energy. And the meditation will about helping be more centered and heart aligned, opening up the heart space.
Great. Okay, well, let's begin with some reflections on the winter solstice. So, the year ends on the shortest day in the northern hemisphere as the sun enters the 1st degree of Capricorn. In ancestral times, the months of the earth represented the festivals of Lunasa, Mabon, and Samhain, were periods of gathering food, gathering resources, and as the winter deepened, people would traditionally restrict their outdoor activities. They would be looking after their animals, they'd be gathering firewood, and then they'd also be carrying out indoor tasks, possibly repairing clothes, repairing tools, really getting ready for the spring season to come. So this is a time of energy saving, going to sleep earlier in the evening, conserving candles and fuel. And in a way, life turns around this period of quiet. Winter is a time of reflection, it's an inward time. The term solstice itself literally means the sun standing still. So if you are lucky to have a southwestern horizon visible from your home, you'll notice that at the summer solstice, the sun reaches its furthest setting point in the west, and at the midwinter the sun sets to its most southerly position. So after the midwinter solstice, the sun will gradually move further west as the months progress, and the sun will remain above the horizon for longer and longer in the day. So for those of us who live above 45 degrees of latitude, we have around 8 hours of day and 16 hours of night at the midwinter. So much of our time is spent in darkness. The importance of this season is attested by the physical remains in the layouts of late Neolithic, that's Stone Age, late Neolithic and Bronze Age sites such as Stonehenge in England and Newgrange in Ireland. Both these sites, for example, have been carefully aligned with a sight line pointing to the winter solstice. So this is pointing towards the sunrise in Newgrange and the winter solstice sunset in Stonehenge. The more one lives outdoors, the more one is aware of the movement of the planets, the rising and setting points of the twin luminaries, our sun and our moon. In the Norwegian tradition, Frigga is known as the goddess of winter, and the winter solstice is known as Mother Night. The period is also known as Yule, deriving from an Old Norse word, which I think is pronounced Yol, and this was a heathen feasting lasting 12 days and had links back to Odin. The Saxons spoke of Modranicht, Mother's Night, to describe the dark nights of this time of year. Modranicht was originally a pagan celebration, later transformed to Christmas Eve in Christian times. So in Germany, Holle is celebrated as a bringer of fertility and prosperity, and this is something that was very much true when families contributed, the size of family contributed to the prosperity of the clan. More children, more hands working on the farm. Another German tradition relates to a forest goddess who shapeshifts and becomes a white doe. And then she goes into a sacred cave, and in the sacred cave she gives birth to the sun. If we go further back still to Roman times, a festival that took place was known as Saturnalia, and this was a Roman festival in honor of the god Saturn, and held on the 17th of December, and later expanded with festivities running over an entire week through to the 23rd of December. This holiday was celebrated with a sacrifice at the Temple of Saturn in the Forum, a public banquet followed by gift-giving, partying, and an atmosphere that overturned the social norms of the Roman era. So feasts and festivals are associated with the midwinter, giving rise to what are called the Feasts of Fools. In England, a Lord of Misrule would be appointed to keep an eye on the festivity and the feasting in the villages and communities. And these gatherings are likely derived from the Roman Saturnalia. As such, Saturnalia is the breaking out from the order of Saturn, in a sense, breaking out from the struggles of the year, the constant work, the effort, foresight as well in preparing for the winter. As such, Saturnalia is reflected in the sun entering Capricorn, because of course Capricorn, the sign Capricorn, is ruled by the planet Saturn. So this time is a time for well-deserved joy. It's a time to feast with family and with friends, and a time to salute this ancient festive tradition.
Very nice, very interesting though. And yeah, it's all ahead of us now. Beautiful.
It is indeed.
So now we're coming to vitamin D. So when we think of vitamin D, we're thinking of sunshine. It feeds the soul and quite literally nourish every cell of your body, helping to create vitamin D. So literally you need sunshine to produce your vitamin D in your body. However, you have to be committed if you want to get all your vitamin D from the sun. First, make sure that you live close enough to the equator during the prime time of the year for optimal rays, and also spend at least 10 to 15 minutes outside every couple of days between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. And also exposure as much skin as possible, but don't wear sunscreen, and at the same time avoid skin damaging sunburn. Sounds complicated, right? And the odds are high that you need to supplement your sunshine. So you could be one of every 2 people worldwide who are deficient, and getting enough vitamin D is important. So why is that? So the essential nutrition has been associated with maintaining good health throughout the body in many ways. For example, retaining normal cellular health and function, supporting bone and tooth mineralization and growth, supporting muscle strength and coordination, assisting robust and balanced immune function. So then you could say, well, then I go to the drugstore or supermarket and just buy their vitamin D. Well, I, of course, recommend you USANA vitamin D supplements. Not just so because I work with them for many years now, but also I just know for the fact that they are one of the best on the market. And that's the case because USANA Health and Science are committed of being the Mercedes-Benz of supplements on the market, meaning never compromise quality. And also they guarantee potency. And also their supplements have a pharmaceutical grade, which is much higher than the one other companies use, which is just the food grade, if you say so. And also USANA guarantees the quality with great tests like from in-house and independent external non-announced test, which will just guarantee that there is inside what's standing outside is labeled on the bottle. So get your sunshine, get your vitamin D. I highly recommend that.
Yes, I totally agree. And, as we were saying, with respect to the shorter days, it's true that in the northern hemisphere at this time we are exposed to much, much less sunlight, and we're also much less likely, depending on your profession, of course, but much less likely to be spending extra time out of doors, and that really has a huge effect. Of course, as the sun, as the days shorten or lengthen by a couple of minutes each day, you don't notice that time. You don't notice just how little time you're actually getting exposed to the sun's light. So really, really important. So get that vitamin D. Good stuff.
Yeah.
So, looking towards the astrology, as I mentioned above, the festivals around the midwinter took place at the time of Saturnalia. In astrology, the season is defined literally by the arrival of the sun in the first degree of Capricorn. And as I said, Capricorn is ruled by the planet Saturn, hence the link with Saturnalia. So in the chart for this time, for the midwinter, the key elements are the sun in the first degree of Capricorn. The moon will be in Cancer at this time, and the midwinter takes place just following the full moon in Gemini on the 19th of December. The moon's nodes are in the first degree of Gemini in Sagittarius. These nodes, they take 18 months in a sign, and they move around the zodiac. So we've been, for the last 18 months, we've had the moon's nodes in Gemini and Sagittarius, and they will be moving into Taurus and Scorpio. So there's going to be a big change in the energy coming in from about from the 19th of January 2022. Right now, the South Node is conjunct the Pleiades. So for those of you who look up into the skies, the Pleiades star cluster is at 0 degrees of Gemini, and so they are close to the South Node. And we have Jupiter in Aquarius squaring the Moon's nodal axis. At the time of the midwinter, the Moon will form the apex of what's called a yod, or a finger of God, between the Sun and Jupiter. I'm going to explain all that in just a moment, so if that term is unfamiliar. So we'll have this yod between the Moon and Sun and Jupiter. And then finally, the other major transit, which has been really with us now for quite some time, is the square between Saturn in Aquarius and Uranus at 11 degrees of Taurus. And so as Uranus is the slower moving of these two planets, this puts Saturn into a third quarter square, which means that Saturn is gradually going to come round. It's a bit like the waning crescent moon. It's the crescent moon just before the new moon. You have this lovely sort of fine moon, and then the new moon. That's the balsamic moon, the balsamic phase. It's the phase of completion. So Saturn is going to come round in this completion phase and finally meet with Uranus. It's not going to happen quite yet, but we're in this, at the moment, this place of tension. So, lunar nodes, transiting lunar nodes represent the evolutionary themes that are emerging at a given time. We're always processing what happens in the past and moving through the present and with the consequences of that past. So with the lunar south node in Sagittarius, we're looking at one sense at the consequences of systems of thought, overarching philosophies, gurus, experts, and teachers. And this is being contrasted with the North Node in Gemini, which is more about looking into our own experience, making up our own minds, our independence and free thinking. So, whilst Gemini can sometimes be seen as the kind of gatherer of facts, with application we can actually make something of those facts. We can find patterns and we can understand. So with Jupiter in square to the node, that means making a right angle to this lunar nodal axis, we have the idea of a person or an authority who might actually be blocking the process of our evolution. Here the chart suggests that we become conscious of such authority figures, whoever they are. And we really tune into the world immediately around us so that our understanding comes from our lived experience and not just what we're being told. So now talking about the yod or finger of God, Moon, Sun and Jupiter. So a really positive aspect of the midwinter is the sextile, that's 60 degrees between the Sun and Jupiter. It's a fantastic time to reach into our projects and goals that we are, in the process of creating, and they will profit from or benefit from the expansive Jupiter energy in the sign of Aquarius. As the sun actually moves into Capricorn, we have the moon forming what is called a yod, or finger of God. And what this can do is really bring up feelings of what one might call destiny. It's where you feel that you kind of have a mission to fulfill, something that can feel very, it comes from a very deep place. You feel called to do something, and it's almost stronger than us. We just know that we have this thing that we have to do. So there's a sense where this moon moving through at the midwinter, we're going to have this kind of moment of finger of God, this kind of moment of destiny. And it may be that this will give us clear insight into what we should be doing in the world at this time. And given the positive sun, keep just on one goal, perhaps something that you've been preparing for some time, and this is something that one might really want to work at consistently in the months to come. So finally, we've got the Saturn square Uranus. Here, Saturn in Aquarius is serious and hardworking in the realm of the water bearer, but Saturn here is also forward-looking, ingenious, inventive, intellectual, humanistic, generous, and visionary. So we have a lot of expansiveness in this sign and in this placement, combined with the determination of Saturn to make a success of things. Whilst all things Saturnian do tend to take time, it's really important not to lose sight of the Aquarian energy in this transit. With the square to Uranus, tensions between the two can be amplified. In one sense, we've got Uranus wants to expand and explore, and Saturn is kind of, holding the reins and keeping things very, very focused. But if one can really use the Saturn to push things forward, keep going, even in the face of adversity, then, good things will happen. It may feel a bit uphill, but it's important to keep the faith, keep going. So the essential is to bring our tasks to completion and use these constraints to kind of push back against them. So if the journey feels long, yes, it may do, but the rewards could be very, very considerable indeed. So in conclusion, there is a lot going on in the chart this midwinter. If three themes emerge, one concerns developing our understanding from our knowledge of our immediate surroundings and experience. In a word, we need to trust ourselves. Another concerns the powerful Sun-Jupiter energy, which we can use to dynamize any creative project that we hold dear. And finally, we can tune into the Aquarian energy, forward-looking, ingenious, inventive, and visionary, and use our Saturn to bring forth a generous and humanistic vision which will enhance and support us for the year to come.
Oh, that sounds so beautiful and nice. Finally, it's like something very good is coming. I can't wait to experience that, I have to say.
Yeah, we are. It's a period that's been really, really fraught, and I mean, this is not so much in the chart, but I would just add that we're also coming to the end of a 2-year Mars Pluto cycle. So again, Pluto's a slower moving planet. Mars takes 2 years to go around. March of 2020, which is a date I think we will all remember, was the last Mars-Pluto conjunction, and it's now coming around. We're moving around, and we're just in that last phase. So by February, March, early March 2022, we complete that Mars-Pluto cycle, and I think that we will then be moving off on a new base. So I think there's a lot going on up there, and it is positive, but we've been through a very, very tough time, and I would say, yeah, I think the end is in sight.
Excellent, excellent. So, and to get us a little tour for the next few months. I have prepared a meditation, and we're coming to that now. For that, please sit in an upright position and then close your eyes and take a deep inhale and exhale. And again, straighten out your spine a little bit more. Maybe move your shoulders up with the next inhale and relax with the exhale. And one more time, move your shoulders up, 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 inhaling and exhaling, release. And be mindful that our feet are steady on the ground. And with your eyes closed, dive deeper into your body. Inhaling and exhaling, and become aware of your breath. And then feel, sense, see, or just notice that a couple of feet above your head, out in the sky, there is a door or a gate opening up, and some energy, some light energy is pulling out and coming down, 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 and entering through your crown into your body, going into your head, washing away and cleansing anything away what's no longer serving you, and filling you up with nourishing light energy. It's going further down through your throat, down into your shoulders, your upper body, back and your belly, through your arms, your hands, and further down into your lower back and your belly, down through your hips, your thighs, your knees, your legs, your feet, and then leaving through the earth, down, 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 until that energy reaches the center of the earth, where it's a different kind of energy. It's nourishing, Mother Earthy light energy. Keep breathing. And with the next inhale, just pull that energy up, 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 back to you again, until it reaches your feet, your legs, your knees, and filling you from below, your thighs, your bottom, your hips, your belly, your lower back, until it reaches the center of your heart. Now you're connected from above with the light energy from the sky, and below with the light energy from Mother Earth. And that energy really does not have a special visual picture, maybe white, golden, yellow, silver, maybe liquid, or just steady, whatever it is, it feels right to you as the right kind of energy for you. And the connection, it's in the heart. But if you're still in your head and have trouble to get in that heart feeling, I invite you to be mindful. Let a tiny version of yourself step into a lift in your head, and this lift is going down, down, down into your heart space. And there now you're stepping out and can see, sense, feel, or know or just visualize your heart space. And you're stepping out there in your heart's garden. How does it look like? How does it feel like? Are there many plants around? Or is there weed? Are the plants and the flowers, are they watered correctly or are they dry? Just notice. And then when you notice what's around there, then just go out there and nourish your garden. Maybe you want to tidy up a little bit. Maybe you can notice, feel, or sense that there is something which does not belong there. Maybe even like a totally different object, which is not normally referred to a garden. Or you notice some dry plants, some weed. It's time to tidy up and let it go away. And keep breathing. So when you see that your tidying is successful, and you can think about what you want to have in your garden, kind of plants, what kind of flowers, blossoms, what would you prefer? Now is the time to seed it out. Maybe you want to plant some seeds of hope, love, wisdom, abundance, creation, being seen, cared for, happiness, joy. Whatever it is, what you want to have more in your life, you can plan that out. All these seeds are now in your hand. You just have to take a look. Every seed has a different meaning, a positive meaning, some wishes. Whatever it is, just take the seeds now, and it's time to just spread them in your garden, plant them, water them. And now you can observe how some seeds are already magically start to grow into plants. And now remember the light you have connected with earlier on. Beautiful light is going through you and filling you up with a feeling of love, joy, prosperity. And you can carry that light and that beautiful feeling around in your heart by starting to move and dance in your little garden. And with every move, you're spreading your own light within that garden, feeling the joy, the inner party, and your inner dance. And these joy vibes become bigger and bigger and filling out your energy field and your entire aura. And now take another deep breath in and out. And another deep inhale and exhale. And slowly notice you're in your body. And then slowly, mindful, open up your eyes again and come back to the here and now. And be aware that you're still connected to the light when you move now and go through your day. Thank you.
Thank you. That was amazing.
You're
Really
welcome.
nice. Whoa. Yes. So, from that lovely meditation, I went a long way away there. It was great. Um, yeah. So, as we were preparing this quarterly wellness um, session, we were talking about gratitude. That was something that is really important. I think before we speak about the intention setting, we thought it would be a good idea just to speak a little bit about gratitude itself before we begin. So, what is gratitude? Well, an art of appreciation, of feeling and expressing thanks. And one of the things that's important about gratitude is that it channels a very, very high frequency indeed. So, for example, you can't be in a place of anger or despair or frustration when you are in a place of gratitude. It's impossible. You have to be in one or the other. It's a choice. So when we choose to be in a place of gratitude, we are really channeling a very, very high frequency indeed. So it's worth taking a moment each day or each hour, as often as you wish, to really just tune in to the many blessings that come to us, no matter how small, no matter how fleeting. Could be the sunlight, a ray of sunlight on the wall, could be the smell of freshly ground coffee, could be a lovely cup of tea, could be the sound of the bird song or the swans that come to my window. All these little tiny things which happen in our day are occasions for gratitude. And these are things that we can so easily take for granted. So taking a moment out of time to feel gratitude is not only simple to do, but it's also a very, very healing thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why we were thinking that today we want to combine the theme of gratitude with our intention setting. So coming to the end of 2021 and moving forward to 2022, what is it like you want to create, especially when moving forward to the new year? So, but also, of course, you can practice this technique, this tool anytime during the year, because we are all in a creative process, and there's always something we want to create, change, or do differently, or move forward to. So become very clear of what you want first. What you desire, I learned, is more specific. It's a different energy to what you want. It's better to think of what am I desiring, and then practice gratitude for what you desire. So for what you had in your past, what you are having right now, so in the present, and then also for the things you want or you desire for the future. So that you can bring them as something which is already in your life. It's a different kind of frequency. For example, I was thinking, taking the example for money, as for the reason that these times are challenging for us and lots of people have existential fears. So the energy of money is something we all need for living our life here on earth. So the example is, I'm so grateful for all the money I have received in the past, of course, for the past. Then I'm so grateful for all the money I'm receiving now for the present. And I'm so grateful for all the money I'm receiving in the future. So that these three ways of practicing gratitude will actually bringing it all together to one place.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's definitely something to practice at the Midwinter, and then carry that practice into the new year.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we finally reached the ending segment. So just before we end, we'd like to remind you that in the comments below you will find some additional materials. So there will be an astrology chart for the winter solstice on the 21st of December.
And there will be also a video of Vanasana for that period of time, which is going to be the dancer.
And then there will be a link to the 8th Healing Horse Karuna Reiki Circle, which begins at Imolc. That is the 1st of February 2022. So if any of you would like to join us, that would be absolutely fantastic.
Yes, it's so beautiful. I'm always joining, so highly recommended. Don't miss out. And also you will find a link to my shop where you can purchase the supplement I recommended. And also a link to my website where you can book yoga. For example, currently I'm doing teaching yoga in English every Tuesday night at 8:30 Central European time. So it's UK time, like 7:30 p.m.
Great. Well, thank you all so much for watching our video. We hope that this information is helpful to you. If you've enjoyed it, please leave us a little comment below. We'd love to hear from you. So, yeah, we wish you a wonderful winter solstice and look forward to seeing you all again at the spring equinox for our 3rd quarterly wellness session. So from me, goodbye and au revoir.
Yeah, and of course, auf Wiedersehen, and thank you so much for joining us.
Okay, thank you and goodbye.